Hello, everybody over here. You guys are over here. Welcome to episode 72. That's a 7 and a 2 of the Tellman and Fellman show. My name's Harris Fellman.
My name's Tellman Knudsen. Welcome to episode 72.
I just sat down and I'm pushing hard we're going to try to get this done in 45 to 1 hour at the most because I got a plane to catch, baby. I'm going to Barcelona. So I think Tellman said that we were going to talk about money mindset, which sounds right. Is that right?
Well, we're definitely going to talk about mindset, and money mindset usually is the primary topic of conversation.
Oh no, I'm interested to start off with just like what is just mindset. You had asked me a question. I thought we could just answer it on the. Oh look,
yeah.
You can see I'm wearing a little pink. I think I should throw that away because it wasn't mine. It's Andrea's and it fits me. So there you go.
Right.
I needed to throw something on today. So that's what you asked me about. You asked me how my show was last night. Yeah. It was an absolute shit show, Tellman. So basically, and this will happen, this will happen where you show up and the only people there are the other comedians. Right. In this case, it was the other comedians and a group of 4 students that were there to support their friend who was also a comedian. And it was fine, and some of the comedians came and sat up front, and it is what it is. And look, there's a thing in comedy called bringers. This was not a bringer. This was a paid show. A bringer means you can't even perform unless you get an audience member to come and pay.
Okay.
It's great. But so those are like the worst because it ends up being, they can be good, but they're really bad because it's generally comedians bringing other comedians who nobody really wants to be there. And it's like that. So, but this wasn't that. This was ended up being a little worse because it clearly wasn't very well promoted because the only people there were friends of the person. So the person that got up right before me.
Yeah.
So I was number 4. The person that got up right before me, she pretty much attacked one of the 4 audience members and would not let go.
Oh,
like okay. It was like, so, sometimes you'll get a heckler. This was not a heckler. This was somebody that as soon as this woman got on stage and I don't even know if the woman, maybe she would have had a great act. I don't know. But one of these 4 students got on their phone. So I can't get on my phone because it's filming me.
Yeah.
That's a fun 3D. I wish we had 3D. I don't know what I'm doing there. Sorry. But anyway, but she's like, she just kept attacking this girl to a point where like
No, hold on. I want to be clear. Was the comedian attacking the audience member or was the heckling audience member attacking the comedian?
Okay. So this wasn't an actual heckle. This was a girl got on her phone as soon as the other woman got on stage, and she might have been off it within 30 seconds.
Right.
Right. Who knows? So she was just sitting there quietly, honestly, on her phone for a few seconds, and this girl spotted her because it's one of 4 audience members.
Right.
And says, "Oh, you're going to be on your phone?" And she was like, sorry, or she didn't say anything. She just probably made a face. I couldn't see her. I was behind her. And then she just starts digging into her. Who gets on a phone in the middle of a set? What's wrong with you? Like,
right.
So what you want to do so we still call that a heckler because that person was distracting from the show. But actually, the person self-heckled themselves. Really. I mean, the person caused the distraction. The comedian caused the distraction. And it was like the whole thing. And she so what you want to do if you do get a heckler, an actual one that talks too much, you want to shut them down.
Who's intentionally being kind of a jerk or like drawing attention away from stage on purpose.
Right. There are, and there's even positive hecklers that feel like they're part of the show. And it's like, I just want to get through my set. I don't remember having I don't remember you being in my script. You know what I mean? Right. And that's like an easy way to shut normal people down. But when someone can't get shut down, you do want to turn the audience against them. You like literally if it keeps happening, you'll get to a point where they're like, everybody wants you to shut the fuck up. Like,
well, the heckler basically is like the class clown, right? Like in school, when there's the teacher, there's the class, and then you get basically the person who doesn't want to be in class anymore, or whatever, and they become a nuisance, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to a degree, exactly. And they're keeping the show. They're keeping the show from going on because
Right.
they keep responding to things. It's like you're at a comedy show, and yeah, I'm sorry I looked at you when I mentioned Indian because you're Indian, but let's move on.
Right.
It's like so anyway, and that was nothing happened. Like, and so anyway, so then I was like, "Oof, I've got to follow this because I'm talking the entire 10 minute was just on this girl and.
Right. Like it must have been tense in the room.
To a point where the comedian that the girl came with started saying, "Let's just isn't your 10 minutes up yet?" Like, which is a
Intervened.
super
Yeah.
no. He had to defend his friend because
Right.
she's like, "How long do I need to stay?" and whatever. So anyway, I was up right after that, and I was like, "Ooh!" I said it out loud. I was like, "Well, how am I going to follow that?"
Right. Right.
And I just got into my set, and
Yep.
I don't have anything controversial. I've just got, my fun magic comedy. And even she laughed. The girl in the front even laughed a couple of times. And, I honestly, I saved the night because they didn't want to stay and
Right.
even just see their friend,
Right.
and they literally said, the friend told me afterwards, he's like, thank you so much. You're my friends, were like ready to leave, and thanks to you, they weren't. So I guess that feels really good, and it feels good. I mean, I love whatever. I love performing, and I have that happen once in a while. I've never seen it as bad as it was, but I can. It's actually pretty interesting. I can go up fourth or fifth after everybody bombed and thinks the room is horrible, and I'll do well. I think just because I'm a change of pace, I'm not like, attacking anybody, and I'm not trying to do like serious magic either,
Right. Right.
which
Right.
maybe that could also, but they which wouldn't have went well, like, but anyway, so that was that. So anyway, is there a mindset lesson in that? I don't know.
There is a lesson in that actually that just popped into my mind in the last few moments. So as you were telling the story, is that so what we teach with automatic audience is how to do a successful virtual summit, how to build a big email list, how to build a big audience, how to make a bunch of money by bringing a bunch of speakers together and pooling your audiences together to create a new, fresh, big, engaged, active audience who comes to everybody's webinars and hopefully buys a bunch of your stuff. But there are a lot of ways you can screw that up. And one of the ways you can screw that up is by being a crappy host that doesn't do a very good job of doing the promotion. And
well, and the host was not a very good host either. That was part of the shit show. Even as, I mean, she's trying her best, but she doesn't know how to host.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's also like the benefit of experience and the benefit of failing, and hopefully there are some lessons in that for her, right? But if I know this, maybe this isn't the model of the comedy. It is the model of the comedy show. Maybe just not as intense, but
it is, though. You don't want it to be. So you starting off with a comedy show. I've done it. I'll I've never done. I've never had to, but here in London, there's a lot of bringers, which is number one. If you're going to be on stage, you need to bring an audience member. So this is kind of the idea of you bring your audience. Now,
build a list, right?
Right.
It's like step one as a performer. Build a list. That's
right. I would love to get to a point where I have a big enough social media audience, maybe, right? That I'm like, that I go, hey, I'm going to be headlining, 30 minutes I was about to say Leeds. I don't know why I would be in Leeds, but whatever.
Let's rush
the Frog and Bucket in Manchester.
Let's fill it up.
And I'm calling you out, guys. Hire me anyway. And that my following, but there's not a lot of comedians that even have that. It's more like so it is different in that it's the promoters or the club's job to say, we're going to have a great comedy night. We always have great people. Don't worry, we found them, we pick them. So it is that part's different. But there is a side of it that when you're just starting out, it does work.
What that strikes me is, I mean, as a magician, as a performer, as a comedian, or otherwise, like this applies to me as a hypnotist or as a marketing guru also. Like, but marketing gurus do this all the time. This is kind of the deal, which is build your audience and build your community. And so what I would ask you, Harris, is as a performer and magician right now, who are like, what's the demographic of your ideal community? If you were going to start a school group or something like that to build your community and keep them connected and then have them follow you around, what's the demographic? Like, what are the ideal characteristics, whether it's age, whether it's sex, whether it's all the demographic, all the factors. What do you think is your best demographic?
45-year-old single women that like short, bald men. No. It's a
That
good
would be a
starting.
really funny name for a school group, but you could probably do it.
Yeah. Oh, there wouldn't be too many. There'd be four people.
No,
Um,
you could get like 100,000. It'd be great.
okay. Okay. Great. That sounds great to me.
Dude, have you
Um,
ever read the Gary Halbert sales letter? Like smart, generous businessman seeks hot, sexy woman. Like, you've never read that classic direct response piece?
no, I read the one where he sold a home, I think, but not the one that he
Dude,
was.
I'm gonna pull that one up, and not today, but I'm gonna read that for one of our episodes, because it is a full page newspaper ad, but it's a singles ad for Gary Halbert when he was like looking for dates, and he just like spelled out exactly who he wanted, and it is absurdly funny, and it worked like crazy.
Cool.
Anyway, but seriously, who's your perfect demographic
I
to the best of your knowledge right now?
I don't know, because I've just shifted from. I mean, if I went with what I had, what it was, it would be, English speaking people in Barcelona, who so that are I guess, but uh,
Middle-aged expats? What?
expats and maybe tourists that and probably, I guess it tends to be who goes to a comedy show, it's 28 to 38 type of thing. No
Not
kids.
not quite middle-aged.
Right. Just, yeah, probably, up to middle,
30s.
up to
30s.
the bottom. I mean, well, let's say upper 20s
Yeah.
into the mid 40s, but it's pretty much, single or couples with no kids, as well, is who goes to the comedy shows that I'm familiar with. Um, and I think that's probably about right, And then, um, in the UK, that piece would be the same, but it doesn't have to be expats. It's so everybody speaks English now. And I'm here, and I mean, if you could call what they're getting out of their mouth English, and then, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of it. Like, I mean, and
Are they going to be more?
it's probably a little more male, but I think I prefer. I think I'm better off with a couple. Like with a straight couple, generally speaking, or because my stuff works better, a little bit better for females, and it works better for males if they have a female with them. Um, so, but plenty of guys love magic as well, but they get into my stuff a little bit more. But I don't know. I would say probably, if I could split it, it'd be like 65% women to men.
Is and do you think that, I mean, obviously they resonate with something with your personality. That's always how it works. But outside of just liking you as a performer, do you think that they're going to be more into comedy? Are they going to be more into magic? Or are they going to just be into both? And that's like one of the requirements, like that, like generally speaking.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to go after a market, I would rather go after a comedy than a magic, because, um, and then maybe they would come see my hour show, right? Once they like come for the comedy, stay for the magic type of thing. Is it's just a much
Dude, that is a good name. Come for
a
the
good
comedy, stay for the magic. Like
yeah.
that's a zinger. Like so here's what I'm thinking about as I'm asking these questions. Like I'm actually thinking about you starting a school group for your fans. Like just build that audience right now. And like what would it be about? And I realized that it hopefully very quickly is going to expand way beyond your local shows that you do. But like imagine if you had, well, you know what we could call, so I have some ideas on theme, but for the moment just call it your fan club, right? Like in your head, like post it, temporary label the Harris Fellman fan club. And like imagine, in my mind, I was, we've talked about this a few years ago, right? But like in my mind, you could do magic school and teach people magic tricks and do it in a funny way. Or you could do how to tell jokes, right? Comedy school. And you could tell jokes and then you could teach people how to tell jokes. You could interview people about telling jokes or doing magic tricks. But I really like that name, Come for the Comedy, Stay for the Magic. And like maybe that's the name of your fan club. And then
Well,
when you,
I sent you a link to White Label Comedy, which and then there's also the Harmon Brothers, which is
I know
like
the heart, you know what? I just started rereading From Poop to Gold. Like that's my next book.
where you, did you do it on the toilet? So
I didn't,
I
but
you
perhaps.
should. I mean, that should be a requirement. So so there's definitely a use comedy for advertising that I feel like would do. I mean, look, I know school isn't always going to be uh, what it is, but what I think it is now still is primarily like if I want discovery, it needs to be something you can apply to your business. I think rather than just like come learn magic tricks. I think it's still at that stage, unless I'm pulling them all from outside of school to bring them in, and then maybe I'll get a few people, whatever. But anyway, that's. I mean, to be honest with you, if you want to, I think I'd rather spend time talking about because it's messy for me when I think about applying too much of this marketing think directly to performer Harris. But there's an in between, which is helping people live a more creative life, right? So be a better painter, be a more full-time painter, whatever it is, whatever that means to you, painter, artists,
Yeah.
whatever, performing artists, etc. And I've got the 75 heart challenge that I want to do, and then I'm thinking like I can build stuff around that. And I was thinking today, oh, I could do a summit.
Dude, so create, just breaking it on down and keeping it, making it even simpler. Like you could do creativity school and you you could do a creativity summit, and you could invite entrepreneurs who are creative, who also have marketing power, right? They may or may not have products that are directly related to creativity, but if they're generally creative entrepreneurs, like that's going to come through, right? And the other thing is that like going to a, like if you go, so what I'm thinking about is if you do think about it as building your fan club though, like if just for a moment, when you go out and you do your shows, if you get
Okay.
people to scan in the QR code or you give people the link or however it is that you get that link in people's hands, the link is their invitation to join your community and get all the updates on all your shows and get all the cool things. And so it could be a deck of cards that has a QR code on each card, and everybody in the audience gets to pick a card. You know what I mean? And you walk away. But like that way you could
It'd be
grow
cool
the
if like when I do
community.
this, the QR code like reveals itself.
There are options, but this way you could be building an online community around the topic while building your localized fan club for the same stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you getting on stage, telling jokes, doing magic tricks, and talking about creativity. Work more creativity and like artist
All right. Well,
creator.
let's talk about that. Hold on. I have a call. It's my mom. I'm gonna decline my mom. Hold on.
Oh, that's hard. That's harsh.
And I'm going to text her. I'm glad she called me. Um,
All right,
I'm
you text your mom. While Harris
recording
is texting
live
his mom,
on.
I think we're going to talk about creativity in some way, shape, or form here. And interestingly enough, this all really does relate back to mindset. We were originally going to start talking a lot about mindset. Now we're talking more about creativity and like I think creativity is a huge. It's more heart set than it is mindset, but it's a very important piece to the puzzle if you want to be inspired and motivated and driven and excited about the work that you're doing. So it doesn't just feel like a drudgery, or it doesn't feel like you're just doing shit and going in some random direction. Is it even worthwhile at all? So Harris, you said let's talk. Are you good with your mom?
I mean, she's not going to disown me, I don't think.
Okay. All right. Are you what aspect of that did you want to talk more about?
Oh no, I was just saying it. Like for me, like that business, I feel like that's the the glue. That's the glue in between like my marketing and business mind and wanting to be more creative. Is there's this thing that I can do, get into the how to be more creative niche. I just made that up, maybe, I don't know. No, I'm sure I didn't make it up.
You didn't
It's
make it
actually,
up.
I've researched it. It's actually, it's actually very, very, very big. Like I had 4 choices from ChatGPT for different avatars, and like freelance. You could either be going for freelance people or for corporate people that are wanting to create creativity, or just you know artists, which they don't typically have as much money as the freelancer
Right.
who's doing
But
it.
at the same time, helping entrepreneurs, business people who've like worked their ass off, nose to the grindstone, and like essentially have squelched their creativity into the ground and are trying to rekindle it and like regenerate some sense of meaning, purpose, and connection in their life. Like those are people with money and resources who have very little creativity and feel like their soul is now sucked out because they focused on money or business or just success, or hitting certain benchmarks for perhaps too long in their lives, and that more creative, playful, expressive, fun
Well,
element of
by the way, that's exactly what the artist way is for, or that's one of the exactly what the artist way is for.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so um, you know, man, looking at how the artist's way is marketing itself. I mean, aside from it being clearly an extraordinary program that has stood the test of time, which is like no small feat, like actually creating a system and a process and a program that is amazing and really works. I mean, that's word of mouth in and of itself, right? Like that book is still selling after 30, you said 1992 or something?
92, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
Interestingly, the same year that George Soros broke the Bank of England. I just listened to a podcast. 1992 was a big year.
Yeah. Well, this didn't come from 1992, but it did come from 1985. I was out for a walk yesterday, walking my girlfriend's dog, and there's a house in the neighborhood that always has a table with books on it that they're giving away.
Uh-huh.
And every now and again, I take a look just to see what ridiculous books are there. And this book was there, it just was on the top of the pile, and I grabbed it. And it's Hypnosis: Understanding How It Can Work for You. It was published in 1985, and I've never read it before. The Nature of Hypnosis, Hypnosis and Psychotherapy, Hypnosis and Medicine, Anxiety States, Phobias, Hysterical Symptoms, Habit Control, Smoking, Overeating, Marijuana and Alcohol, Fingernail Biting, Bedwetting, Teeth Grinding, Insomnia. I've hypnotized people for all of these things.
Fingernail biting.
Are you a biter?
I am. I'd gotten rid of it for a really long time with NLP after reading Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
and I did a thing. I guess whatever. I replaced the habit with something else. But yes,
Cool. Yeah, I once had a client who was who bit his fingernails to an extreme degree. This is before I went online, when I just did my local hypnosis offices, and he bit them so that the tips of his fingers were constantly infected. Like
mm,
it was a mess. And I hypnotized him, and he
that's not great.
he was also a performer, right?
Yeah,
And a
see,
music
like, and I perform with my hands, so
and a
like
magician,
sometimes I'm
not a magician, but a musician.
yeah, but
And
so me, like I'm like here, pick a card,
right, right,
you know.
like, and he was pretty embarrassed about it, and he couldn't willpower it out of him, and I hypnotized him a few times, and to this day, whenever I, like he often like will show me his, it's like walking down, because we live in a small town, and walking
Yeah,
down the sidewalk, I'll see him across the street or something, and he'll wave his hand at me to like be like, dude, look, fingernails are growing. Like 25 years later or whatever. So pretty awesome. Yeah, hypnosis is super powerful. It
yeah.
really is.
So maybe another time we'll talk about the idea of like once I have it a little bit more structured, doing a summit for. I think that's probably. I may or may not do it, but at the end of the day, it's a brand new market for me, and that's how I got into the internet marketing market,
Dude,
and I think I think the internet marketing market is I think it's tough, man. I think it's so competitive now, and like I don't really, at the end of the day, I don't really want to do like a $10,000 coaching program, like, and you don't have to when you're in different markets.
this is interesting, Harris, because I just wasn't thinking like, I remember when I was young in school, I would generally get A's and D's. You know what I mean?
A's
I
and
wouldn't.
B's.
D's.
You got A's and D's.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So easy. So if I was interested, easy A. If I wasn't, I wouldn't let myself fail, but I wasn't going to turn in anything on time. I was going to like put, and so
I wasn't like that, but my son had a lot. Hudson had a lot of trouble. There were it wasn't A's and D's. I'd say A's, B's, and some C's, and but my point was is like, what are we doing with the school system? Like, I don't
yeah,
understand why it's like
right.
we have to we go in order to be a good student, you have to be good and interested in your case
No,
in what 8 subjects or
right,
whatever 6 subjects,
right.
and it's like I don't
Ridiculous.
get it. But anyway, go on. So you got
Anyway,
A's and D's by
A's and D's, but I always did really well in art class, but my ability to visually express myself with any degree of accuracy has always been a mess. Like, I've never been good at drawing, I've never been good at painting, I've never been good at making something look realistic. Like, it looks kind of like scrawl, like, but I made up for it with ridiculously creative ideas at the root. So even though like I've never had good fine-tuned art skills, I would always get A's in art because like I had a more off the wall idea that I was trying to pull off than everybody else.
yeah
And I remember, and so I always like was really proud of my creativity. And like that was kind of like the only aspect of my personality as a kid that I was like, oh, I'm the creative one in the family, and I'm like the creative one in the whole school. you,
yeah
you know, and and then in marketing, I remember once. Do you remember Rick Raditz?
yep. He died,
Rick,
didn't he? He died a few years ago, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Rick Raditz was co-founder of Audio Generator, right? Instant video generator with Armin Morin, and Alex Mandossian was involved with that. Anyway, Rick at one point had a creativity mastermind, and he invited a dozen of the most creative entrepreneurs that he knew and a creativity facilitator. And it was really cool. It was like a high-end coach consultant came in, and for a couple of days, we 2 or 3 days, we did a really, really awesome creativity oriented brainstorming, problem solving kind of mastermind session together. And it'd be
Well,
interesting.
was it something you sold, or it was just the two of you?
No. There were a dozen. So Rick held it. He hired this guy, and then he invited 12 of his most creative friends that were entrepreneurs to come and solve problems together
Okay.
for the weekend.
By the way, Rick, if
And
you're listening, I'm sorry. I must have confused you with somebody else.
yeah, Rick did, I think, really get into politics or something, but
Yeah, I remember
like a
he had
political philosophy,
tax and trade, or something in trade ideas. Yeah.
something. Yeah. But I remember we did this creativity mastermind. It was really great. And um I wonder it like I I think, yeah, Harris, I think doing a creativity in marketing or creativity in
In business,
in business.
advertising. Yeah.
I mean, uh, you don't need to stay stuck in just business. I mean, you can work. You can create products and courses and books and whatever to all these different markets. But if creativity is the common thread, that could be really fun, and I think much needed. I It's a little hard though, from a direct response perspective. It feels hard to sell creativity because it seems like something that people want the creativity, but that they're not necessarily well running from pain. But it seems that maybe the pain is that like I've lost all sense of purpose and meaning in my life, and I want to like reconnect with my creative self, like and have fun again or something. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, I want. I don't. I probably won't want to do it and apply it to business and marketing. I'm because that's not what I like. I want to go in the direction of like be an artist, pure. Not necessarily like be an artist or nothing. And maybe that will lead me back to that. Sorry, I was looking up Rick Raditz. He did announce years ago that he had MS. But I think he's alive and kicking.
Hmm.
So we'd love to have you on the show, Rick, if
It'd
you
be
hear about
awesome.
this.
Yeah, we should love. I would love to reconnect with Rick. Like it's been years.
Yeah, he's yeah. Anyway, I just saw some Facebook posts.
Ziosoft was the company that it became.
Oh, okay. They bought him, or that's just what he
No,
called it.
that's what they rebranded like the company. I remember because all of the List Crusade interviews were on Audio Generator,
Oh,
and that company became Ziosoft. And years afterward, Rick sent me like a zip file of all the List Crusade interviews, which I, for the love of God, can't find.
oh no.
I think I have it on a external drive somewhere that I haven't rooted through, but
Yeah,
yeah, we should totally connect with
I
Rick
think I
and
have
find out.
10 Bitcoin on a external drive. No, so Bitcoin. I tried to buy it when it was I don't know. I think $1. And it was not easy to buy, and I got a wallet, and I still couldn't figure. I don't know what happened, but I didn't get it. I was like, "Oh, I'll buy like I remember Timmy told me about it. I was like, yeah, I'll buy $100 worth, or I'll buy $1,000 worth. Who knows, you
Right.
know? And it was maybe no, I think it was like 10 or $11 at the time. So
Yeah.
anyway, um, what was the question?
What was the question, Harris?
Rick Radich,
I,
Harris.
there was no question.
Oh,
I,
okay. I thought you asked me a question about.
uh,
Okay.
well, I mean, we were just discussing creativity and community. What one way or the other, dude? I would recommend that you totally start a fan club, just based on the whole situation where whether you like it or not, there are a lot of performance situations that you're in where like you could probably get on bigger stages if you could bring more people into the community, right? Like the bottom line. And so if you had a really cool community that the people that do come see you joined every time you do a show, it's lead gen. And like, and so if you, and maybe it's a creativity community, maybe it's not, but whether it's the Harris Fellman fan club or magic school or comedy school or whatever, Like it could change over time, but
So I want to. I want my. I want to work. I plan on working on a show that does have kind of and maybe I can work this into my 7 to 10 minute bits, but and I can that has a bit of like an inspiring people to be creative or an inspiring people to follow their dreams, whatever. And so that could be the like because otherwise it's just like but that might be that might be an interesting tie-in as well. I don't know about I think it's interesting. So I'll tell you, I guess since we were supposed to talk about mindset and I'm doing this or whatever, there was a negative self-talk thing that happened with the idea of fan club, which is like it's kind of ridiculous at this stage. Like that's what my like and do I have anything worthy of following me as a fan other than
yeah,
like it's
dude, if that's how you're thinking about yourself, like that's going to be some serious. You're up against a serious obstacle. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's how you're thinking about yourself, how do you expect them to think about you?
I don't
Like that'll
expect them to
fuck you
think
up.
about me.
You know, you've been performing for 5 years as a magician, and you've been doing comedy in some way, shape, or form for over 20. Like even if it's cracking jokes at at family parties or whatever, and it's like if you actually want to be a professional performer and you actually want that to make your full-time income, you're gonna have to change that self-talk like seriously.
Yeah, that's part of what the artist way does, Tellman.
Well, good. Gonna move on. Seriously, it's like you what popped into my mind while you were telling me about your negative self-talk was calling your fan club the Dreamers, and to um if you want to live your dreams, then I've got a secret to tell you. There's a small group of people that I've invited together who are dedicated to discovering and living their dreams and supporting each other as we all grow and move together. And if you'd like to live and like maybe during the show, you have them think about 1, 2, or 3 of their dreams. What's your financial dream? What's your relationship dream? What's your dream for your physical body? What's your
I
dream
do.
car?
I do have a routine where I've done that with my longer show where I have someone come on and tell me their dream and then I think I've predicted it and they pick a book and it's the book that I have in a gift for them, which was War of Art.
Sweet.
The Yeah, the guy that came on stage, I remember one of the guys that came on stage was a coach at my son's here in well, when I was in Barcelona at my son's high school. He was a football coach, American football, and his dream was to be an NFL play, an NFL coach. And I was like, "Whoa, okay, let's talk about it."
That's badass. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, but now it gets exciting because you're talking about their dreams, not
right,
yours. And so and that like now, if your community
right. But so do you, wait. So do you see how it makes more sense for it to be the dreamers because now everybody in the audience
yeah,
is
no,
a
it's about them.
possibility rather than hey, who wants to learn a magic trick? You see that?
Yeah, no, look, what I'm saying is that like these are a bunch of different ideas, and some of them might work better than others, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but one way or the other, form a fan club that they want to be part of, and I'll tell you, you know what, one of the
So
best
maybe I don't
master.
have to call it a fan club. It's not necessarily a fan of me as a performer, which is what you do have in mind at first. But
Well, it's you
uh,
as the leader, Harris. Even
that's fine.
even if you're doing an amazing job of creating community and making about your community instead of about you,
Yeah.
they're still following you.
Sure,
It's still
sure,
the
sure.
Harris Tillman fan
But when you
club.
say fan club, I go to the like whatever the rock star that's got a fan club
Well,
and
that's what you are, dude. That's exactly what it is. It's just you're doing a better job of making it about them instead of being a egotistical prick.
yeah,
But it's still the Madonna fan club.
yeah.
It's still the Elvis fan. It's still the Fellman fan
The
club.
Swifties is probably a good example because it's not totally about her.
Who?
Taylor Swift, the Swifties,
Oh,
big fan club,
I
biggest
mean,
fan club.
I know that Taylor Swift exists. I didn't know they were called the Swifties, but that's a great good name for right. I mean, that's a good way of making it all about her and all about them at the same time, right?
Yeah.
But if you're inviting them into a world where there's the hope and the possibility of them actually moving closer to their dreams, of maybe living their dreams, um like, and doing that by living a more creative life,
Yeah.
right, and tapping into that, like, that's something that you could sell info products on, do workshops on, work into all of your live performances, and do interviews where you're interviewing your people. And as you mentioned, but oh, that's what I was going to tell you, dude, is I think Addison created, actually, we should interview Addison.
Who's that again?
Addison Rice. Addison Rice. I guess I really got to know Addison after, like, in when you and I were on. Well, we weren't on hiatus, but we weren't talking very much for a decade.
Yeah.
Addison Rice is a local guy. He actually grew up not too far from where I live now, and he now is a really great copywriter. But he basically he kind of interned with me when he was in his 20s, taught him, he's a musician and a performer. He's primarily a musician and performer, or that's what he wants to be doing full time, but in the meantime he's a copywriter to pay the bills. And Jody in particular really taught him how to write mascot emails exceptionally well. And so
Mm-hmm.
he created a bunch of really good mascots for our company. One of them is called, one of the most successful mascots that we've ever had is called the Dreamer.
Mm.
And the Dreamer is, this aspect of you that's, dreaming the dreams, that you forgot, or whatever. And so, the idea of the Dreamer is like, it's a resonant idea with people, is my point. So
Mm.
yeah, that could be really cool, Harris.
So his website might be Fool and the World.
Oh yeah, that's his newest band, is Fool in the World. It's and in my opinion, his best band so far. They're pretty tight. Yeah.
Better than the Love Sprockets, even.
Well, the Love Sprockets were great. I was a big fan of the Love Sprockets. It was Addison and his now ex-wife Genevieve, and they were really good. They played together for a long time, but they were also a duo and more of a folk band. Amazing stuff, but this band it's really connected. I think that they could do something. It's a really good group of
Cool.
guys. Yeah, I've been very impressed with how they've been coming along a lot. But only about a year old, that band. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway, Addison created the Dreamer. The Dreamer has done exceptionally well selling abundance mindset oriented stuff over the years.
Do you have your mascots in AI agents anywhere?
I have uploaded some of the mascot method home study program, and dozens of our best mascot emails to ChatGPT.
That might be a really interesting application for you, for if you happen to know any copywriters that are good at creating AI
No,
agencies.
that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
You're gonna make mascot agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, or fill in these blanks to make your own mascot agent, basically.
Yeah. So far, when I've worked with, I haven't like done those complex, more agent based, because I don't know how yet, programming for AI. But when I have uploaded instructions and training on how to create mascots and all these things, so far ChatGPT keeps missing the mark in terms of creating resonant
Yeah,
characters.
we need to get into Jason Parker's mastermind soon. I think
Yeah, we
that's
should. We totally should. Yeah, it's
really
really
cool.
great. Because it's like so the idea of the Dreamer, right, is
Yeah,
like it's a character or an idea that already exists inside the mind of the prospect or the human. And it's like writing an email from your heart, or writing an email from last night, or
yeah,
writing an email from the sunrise.
uh-huh.
It's like they already have a relationship with the idea, right? And no matter how many times I've tried explaining this to AI, or writing an email from your toothbrush or your wallet or your bank account or your
Yeah,
Patreon
it's
support
probably
site.
similar to trying to get AI to write a joke. It doesn't. There's
Yeah,
pieces of it that it doesn't quite get.
it keeps on it keeps on coming up with like the dastardly duck or or like it'll almost always make it an animal and then have the name of the animal be the same as the first letter of the animal it chose. So like the mischievous mouse. And I'm like, no.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I made it 45 minutes,
Oh, you
everybody.
did. You did. All right, go to the bathroom, Harris. Harris is going to the bathroom, and when he gets back, I think we're going to wrap up. We've been talking a lot about creativity. We've been talking about mindset. And if you want to improve your money mindset, then get on over to Tellman. Oh, that is not what I wanted to show you, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Get on over to Tellman and Fellman.com. When you go to tellmanandfellman.com, you can put in your name, you can put in your email, and you can put in your phone number if you want text messages. And we're going to give you access to all the previous episodes and all future episodes of the Tellman and Fellman show. It's going to be awesome. I know it looks weird, but that's what we're dealing with here today. So let me see. Let me get rid of that. Hide.
Whoa!
That's
Now
right.
everybody can see our AI
Our
our AI
AI
logo.
logo up close and personal. There it is, right there.
I usually do have more of a beard than I do. I think mine looks okay. I think mine, like, have a look at it again. Yours doesn't quite make it. When you were fully bald, there's just the features, but mine is,
Yeah,
I guess, maybe enough of it's the bushy look. The eyebrows are pretty good,
it's okay. It's okay. It's true.
and then yeah,
The
mine. I mean,
scowl on mine is fairly close.
let me see. Scoot over. Let me see your scowl. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're still smaller,
Right.
smaller scowl. Anyway,
Man, I'm
um,
like so tired today. I've been very run down. I slept in a little bit this morning. I went to bed fairly early, and I think I might have a little cold or something.
I could be from running in 16-degree weather. So I did not get much sleep last night, and I haven't. And I woke up at, I think, what was it, 5:30, and then I still was a couple minutes late to the gym because I do a class, and so whatever, stayed a little bit extra. But anyway, that starts. So I got really tired in the middle of my morning and was not as effective as I would have liked to have been. So, but I've had a good morning. Otherwise, I've gotten the important things done, and now I need to get on an airplane.
Cool.
So I need to get out of here and get to Heathrow Airport and get on an airplane. And I've
Are
prepared.
you so are you or aren't you available tomorrow for Tellman and Fellman? I know we're still broadcasting live, but I'm checking in anyway.
I think I should be. I think I should be. Yeah, I
Oh,
think I
cool.
was. I
But
think I'm planning
will
on.
you be back home by then or no?
No, no, no. Oh, well, no, I'm
How
going
long
to
is this trip?
Barcelona. I'm flying to Barcelona, and I'm gone until Monday. So Friday we have an interview set up already. Tomorrow I don't know if we have anybody, but it might be you and I again. But let's see if we can get somebody. But yeah, I'm planning on it, and I just have to adjust my time by 1 hour, so I'll be 6 hours different than you instead of.
Cool. Well, one thing that I was gonna say is that if you want to like run some creativity exercises or something like that on some of our episodes, I strongly encourage that. Like, and would happily help. Like that could be a cool thing for us to do. Um, if we have an episode rather than just talking about stuff, but actually run people through an exercise or something like that. So if you're interested in exploring that, like, let's
Mm,
talk about it.
maybe. So far it's pretty personal, and I'm not sure I want to go quite as personal as it is. Like, I mean, I just mentioned one of the things, which I guess I'm a pretty open person, but I don't know. I mean, so maybe, yeah,
Well,
maybe,
we'll see. We'll see.
yeah.
Rock and roll. All right. Well, Harris, thank you. And thank you to all of our Tellman and Fellman Show fan club members. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, toodaloo. Bye-bye.